This is episode number 1 of the Jason Croft Show, where we give you the first steps to launching a business, the importance of accountability, and what you should be doing instead of eating lunch.
This is not business as usual. Host Jason Croft is a video marketing strategist driven to grow your business. He grabs top CEOs, startup founders, even sales and marketing rock stars, throws them in a moving vehicle, and forces them to give you their most valuable tactics and business insights. So sit back, buckle up, and hang on for the Jason Croft Show.
Welcome to episode number 1, folks. I wanted to start this show off strong by bringing you exactly what you need when you're launching a new business, from the mindset you must be in to how to grow and scale. To help me with this, I picked up Raj Daniels in the Business Mobile. Raj is someone who is not only running his own venture, but is one of the most connected people around in the entrepreneurial ecosystem of VCs, startup founders, and educational systems. He was gracious enough to spend some time with us and share some incredibly useful tactics. Also, my first sponsor for this new endeavor is The Grove, a new kind of social space in Dallas, Texas, way beyond co-working. When you sign up at The Grove, you're joining a community with strong values, a commitment to social impact, and a history of making good things happen in our cities. Justin Nygren leads this community, and he's made it his mission to not only provide all the necessary office elements that you come to expect from a well-designed co-working space, of course, but also the guidance and support to help your socially responsible company thrive. Check them out and schedule a tour at grovedallas.com. I recently shot some interviews in this great space, and you'll see those here in future episodes. All right, let's get rolling. Welcome to the show, everybody, and welcome Raj Daniels.
Thank you so much, Jason.
Absolutely. Episode 1.
I know, again, right?
Again.
But you didn't have video last time.
Exactly.
For me, anyway.
We've stepped up. We did everyone else. No, not everyone else.
I know. The whole face for radio.
This is the whole reason I even made a new show.
All right.
Just so you could be on video.
All right. It's going to be 70 episodes of this.
That's right. I owe Raj 70 episodes. So this is great. I'm really excited to have you on because you were episode 1 on Startup
so
Dallas. I feel has had a great run, and what better way to start off this one?
Auspicious beginnings.
That's right.
All right.
Absolutely. So, and speaking of that, if we won't cover as much background as we covered in your interview there.
Okay.
And if anybody would like to check that out, you can visit startupdallas.co/1. Find out all about Raj Daniels. So, I really want to focus today on OpenTime.
Okay.
Your app.
Mm-hmm.
We are here in downtown Carrollton, and we're going to start driving now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I can talk, listen, and drive. I think I can only do 2 of those things at once.
All right.
We'll see which 2 I pick at any given time.
So March 21st, first day of spring.
Is that today?
That's today.
Wow. It's fine. Beltline. We're just driving. Some episodes, we're going to have a destination. Some episodes, we'll probably just sit still for safety's sake. And some episodes,
we'll just pick up strangers.
Exactly. Oh, that would be good. If somebody looks like a VC, we'll pick them up.
We'll put on our
Uber
hat.
That's right. This show will start making money. It'll be great. So, talk to me about OpenTime. First, just tell me what the heck it is.
Okay. So, OpenTime, let me tell you, our mission is to connect everyone offline. Okay? And so we've built an app, but the app is just a tool to do that. We believe that there aren't enough face-to-face conversations happening, and that people have become lost in this virtual world.
Sure.
We found studies, research, people actually feeling lonelier now. They're feeling more depressed. Even though technically they're more connected, there's a huge feeling of disconnection.
Because they know more about more people, technically.
Mm-hmm. They feel like they're doing something when they connect on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it might be. And there's a place for that virtual world.
Sure.
But we just believe that essentially communities of people need to strengthen their relationships with people in their community. Now, people might think community meaning kumbaya, church, local organization. But every organization that you're part of is implicitly, it's a community. So your employer is a community, your church is a community, the startup ecosystem is a community. They're all communities.
Right.
And how much we interact will actually, it'll forecast or project how long or how strong that community will be around and how strong it'll be going forward.
So why do you care about that?
couple of reasons. Number one, I grew up in London, and I grew up without a sense of community, and it's really resonated with me when I look back that at times how lonely I felt not being part of a community, and so that's an underlying reason for me. And number two,
like from childhood on?
Exactly.
Okay.
And I was speaking to someone recently, and it really came to the top that I really missed that as a child. I felt like, so we were Indian, we were the minority of the minorities in a Caucasian neighborhood, and we didn't have a strong community. So that was the underlying reason. Also, I really believe that we all have a intrinsic value inside of us that we can share with people, and just doing that online is not fruitful enough. We've met for coffee several times, and I've learned things about you and your family, things you wouldn't have shared with me, through an email or through a tweet or whatever it might have been. And it's only then, once we share these things, can we help each other. Right. So those are the two main reasons.
I love that. That's great. So when did this idea for, I guess, making a tool to help facilitate this, when did that begin, and what were the beginning steps?
I was at a networking event for strategy consultants. My background's in strategy consulting, and I was sitting at a table, and people were complaining about the event, that they go to an event like this, they get 2 or 3 business cards and they leave, and so they feel like these events are not providing them enough value, and they want to meet people there. They want to meet the rockstar consultants. And I'd heard this before when I was mentoring MBA students, that how do we network better? How do we meet more people? And people that network, they all have the same pain point. How do we meet more people? How do we meet different kinds of people? And how do we improve on this networking? And so I went home that weekend essentially, and said to my wife that, someone has to do this. And I looked around online at the time, and there weren't any tools really addressing this problem. And so I said, why not me?
So, awesome. And that's a great question. I know VCs ask that all the time. If it's you and a co-founder at this point.
Correct, Josh. Right?
Josh. And when a VC is going to look at you and ask, why are you guys the ones to do this? What's that answer?
Josh and I discussed this just recently, and I've been part of non-profit organizations for about 14 years, serving in the capacity of a volunteer and on the board. My heart really lies in bringing people together, part of a non-profit. So I'm doing it for free. I'm not, getting paid to doing that. Yet I'm extremely passionate about helping people, connecting people, and so ultimately come down to, if I'm willing to do it for free, then now building a company around it is the natural extension from there.
I like that. That makes sense. That's great. So what was step one in bringing this to life? I mean, you went home that weekend, you sat down.
Step one was what I refer to now as my butt ugly PowerPoint. It's animated PowerPoint, as minimal as you can imagine.
Okay.
And getting that up, and then talking to people and asking, do you have this pain point? If I build a tool like this that enables you to meet more people, meet people that you can identify by a profile, meet people in a particular location, would you be interested in using it? And resoundingly, the answer came back yes, and that's what gave me the courage, or the stupidity, to go down this road.
So. So dive into that a little bit, because I want to make sure everyone understands the app as well, because I want to dive into exactly what it's doing and how it works, but also what gaps is it filling in that you don't get through a LinkedIn or somewhere else?
Right. So first, what the app does. So I'll tell you what I imagined first and where we are right now.
Okay.
In my vision, I had imagined an app where I could see people's availability, people in my network, and people could see my availability. So think of it, if you will, imagine your LinkedIn network. So you have 900 people or 500 people, whatever that might be, but people actually saying they'll be available to talk to you or meet with you. So they're kind of putting their money where their mouth is as far as networking. So they're saying, okay, we're open to network, but we're actually opening to meet you and talk to you.
At this specific time.
Exactly, because the time is the dance, right? Jason, when are you available?
Right.
I don't know when you're available. Where are you available? And then eventually groups. So to give an example of how the app has evolved to where we are today, right now we have the availability piece down. So if I broadcast my availability, I can say that I'm available Wednesday morning from 9 to 11. Next, we're going to add groups. So I'm available to my startup group, to my church group, and then third, we're going to add location. So Raj is available to this particular group in Dallas or in Addison and Plano. We believe that people are dynamic. We're not static creatures. We're driving around right now.
Yep.
So, allow people to meet people in their network, in their community, on their schedules.
Fantastic. So that was the idea of it, and that's what you've put together.
Correct.
Here with it. What stage are you in the development of it all?
So we have an iOS app that we released. We have an Android app. We're building a web app. We have our first customer signed on.
Fantastic.
We're partnering with Dallas Startup Week. We're
Nice.
talking to some other potential customers right now. So it's moving along. We're taking very, very measured steps. We're not looking for 1,000 downloads in the App Store because we don't have the team to support that right now. We're in the process of raising money, so we're talking to potential investors, trying to grow our team, specifically the engineering team. Right now it's just me doing the biz development side of it, but that's where we are right now.
Fantastic. And then give me a use case scenario real quick.
Sure.
For somebody. You certainly described the app. I get it.
Sure,
But I've
absolutely. So I'll give you a couple of use case scenarios. Let's just use basic networking, for example. Right now, you go to a meetup or you go to a networking event, and let's say it has 100 people, okay? And you're a pretty good networker. You may get 10 business cards.
Sure.
Okay, you're really good. You get 10 business cards. You're outgoing. You're not shy, and so you get these 10. But there are 90 possible opportunities you left on the table.
Oh,
You were all there at this networking event, let's say for audio video. And so people in the room had the same interest, but you weren't able to connect with them for whatever reason, time constraints, or they weren't the person in front of you. What we're telling people is now take this event with you. Allow them to continue the conversation. And so that's one case, a networking event.
Yeah.
Community building. So the startup community, for example. And there are a couple of people in the startup community that I've spoken to myself that are introverted, they're shy, but they want to talk to people, they want to, learn how to grow their businesses, and they've given me examples. They say, I want to talk to Michael Sidorzeski, for example, but he always looks really serious, and I don't know, I'm kind of afraid to ask him.
Sure.
And what we found is that people are afraid of rejection, and they have a fear of that.
Oh, yeah.
But on the flip side of that, if I didn't have to ask Michael or ask Jason, when are you available, and they see that they've actually opened themselves up to the community, then the likelihood of me asking them is greater. So now I see that Jason is available, and I say, okay, I didn't have to ask him. He's there. He's saying there's open door, kind of like an open door policy.
Right.
I can connect with him and I can have a conversation with him.
Oh, that's
So
great.
those are two use cases there.
Oh, yeah, that's great. How did you find Josh? How did you guys link up?
Josh, I was very lucky. Let me start with that. I was going to a networking meeting here at the big DOCC, looking for a technical co-founder. I was interviewing people. I was going down to the deck, telling people my idea. I had a couple people volunteer. Hey, if you're looking for a CTO, CIO, I'd throw my name in the hat. I wasn't even sure what to look for off the bat. And somebody from big DOCC said, you should talk to Josh. I talked to Josh, and what I really appreciated about him was his values. I think that, we're building a company from the ground up here. Technical skills are important. I'm not saying they're not, but his value system aligned with mine. And I think that that's one of the things that new founders or just people in general don't realize. It's going to be a long journey. So make sure that the person who you're partnering up with, their value system aligned with you. So I found Josh through connections in the big DOCC.
And what are those values? What are some of those that lined up?
Number one is family. For me, number one is family. I have 3 young daughters. I have a wonderful wife. Josh understands that, no matter what happens, they're my priority. Now, I don't mean obviously whatever, if there's a deliverable due and we need to do an all-nighter or something occasionally, I understand that. What I'm saying is that my wife and my children come first.
Right.
So that he's married also, and so I understand that, and so we make room in our lives for that first relationship. Second is our values on giving back to the community. Josh has an open door policy. People in the community, if they need technical help, his door is always open. He's volunteered to jump on calls to evaluate co-founders for other people, evaluate code, give them ideas. He almost launched a free coding school because he realized the lack of talent in the area. But he's very big-hearted and always believes in giving back also. So those are a couple of things that were very, very important to us in the beginning when we started out.
And that goes to your whole. You should really build your whole organization that way, but definitely those first core several positions. That's huge.
You can train for aptitude. to a certain extent, but attitude is number one.
And so I think you're somebody who is kind of the quintessential guest that I really want to have on this new show and this venture, because you're not only in the middle of it as a startup with this great app, and you're in the middle of things doing it, but you're also such a resource to other startups in the way you've approached going about all of this, the way you've been guiding people throughout your networking that you've done in the last year that I've known you.
Right.
It's been just a phenomenal thing to watch,
Appreciate it.
Be Mr. Connected without a doubt, but in the best, in just the most wonderful way too, in this helpful, connecting people kind of way. So what are some of those things? I mean, what advantage do you have over everybody else? Why are you good at this? What are those things that separate you from the masses, really? All right, I'm loving this episode, and Raj has even more value to give. But as I mentioned in my introductory episode, I want to respect your time and keep these episodes short so that they're the perfect commuter listens and easy to view videos. But if you're ready for more Raj right away, jump into episode 2 right now. I'll see you over there.
Thanks for listening to The Jason Croft Show. Head over to thejasoncroft.com for all the show notes, links, and special offers mentioned in the show. Also, if you've not already rated our podcast in iTunes, we'd love your support. Please leave a review and the star rating that you think we've earned. And don't forget to subscribe. We've got more incredible guests coming your way. We'll see you next time for business, breakthroughs, and being better on The Jason Croft Show.